Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video on Gran Turismo 7, and we are back with a daily race C at Nürburgring in Group 3, and we've got some very well-known drivers in this lobby that we are about to enter. So you can see on screen at the moment we've got some very fast drivers at the front. We're starting from the back, but we're actually not right at the back. We've got Mick Auerzell behind us, Gallo behind us, two previous world champions in the Gran Turismo scene. Amazing drivers, in my view, two of the best out there. So this is going to be a very hard one. We're starting from P10. We're starting on the medium tyres, going for a bit of a different strategy to the rest of people, because a lot of people are starting on the hard tyres. Now, this is a risky strategy, but it can also gain you places if you're aggressive at the start. So yeah, make sure you hit the like button, thumbs up if you enjoy this video, and subscribe for more content like this and track guides and live streams. We do it all the time, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. Now, this race was obviously live streamed as well, and you can see we're trying to work our way through the field. We're on the mediums, like I said, and we're trying to get past as many people as we can on this start, because a lot of these drivers are on hard tyres, and the first lap is where you get a lot of your overtaking done, because everyone's suffering from dirty air. This dirty air system is really causing a few issues on this game at the moment. Hopefully it'll get fixed and we can have some really good racing like we have on this opening lap all the way through races. That's what we all want. We want PD to fix it in the next update, so fingers crossed we'll all be paying attention for that one. So up to P8 already, we can see Mick Auerzell there in P10 right behind us, also known as TRL Lightning. Some of you will know that name from GT Sport. Probably the fastest driver, still probably the fastest driver in my view if he puts the effort in. Absolutely incredible consistency, amazing ability at saving tyres, and in my view, the GOAT of Gran Turismo. So we're in P8, let's see if we can stay ahead of him. He's also driving the Porsche in this race. We're both in the same car, and this is going to be interesting because he's starting on the hard tyre, I'm starting on the medium. We've also got Gallo right behind that, so we go for a nice move up the inside there. Lovely move, putting ourselves up into P7, and a pretty good start. We've gone from P10 to P7 on this opening lap, and that is what we needed to do on these medium tyres. So now we've got a bit of a gap to P6 and P5. Hopefully some of these drivers are going to pit, and they're on the hard tyres, so hopefully they're going to pit either lap 1 or lap 2 or lap 3. It's always good when they pit lap 1 because it opens up another gap. And now we've got Fuser in front of us there. Hello Fuser, let's see if we can get past him and find the way past. I wasn't sure what tyre he was on at the moment because he was getting quite good exits from the corners, but then on the brakes it did make me suspicious that he was on the hard tyres, because as we come into this corner you're going to see how he just struggles to get on the power there. You can see a little bit cautious on the power. I had to get on the brakes massively and we lose a little bit of time there. So that was my suspicion, that he was probably on the hard tyre now. So this is where we need to try and find a way past, or hope that he pits on this lap, because this is how bad the dirty air is on this game. You can even struggle to overtake people when you're on a stronger tyre. So let's all cross our fingers and pray that this is going to get sorted. But this has been one of my favourite combos so far, I have to say, on Gran Turismo. I've enjoyed this week more than I think a lot recently. I'd say pretty much since we had Daytona on the first ever week with tuning enabled. I've got to be honest, that is still my favourite week, when we could alter cars. There was strategy with fuel, you didn't have to fuel. There was strategy, you could do a lot of fuel saving. There was just so many strategies available. That was still my favourite week, but this has been up there. The level of drivers in daily races recently has really boosted up as we get a massive amount of understeer behind Foos there and lose a bit more time. And we've also got M. Williams behind us, another incredibly fast driver right behind us there, I think, in the McLaren. So we're going to skip to the end of lap 2, and Fuser was on the hard tyres, so he's going in the pits. And now this really does open up the gap for me to get some lap times down and start pushing, because this is what we need. We need clean air, push on these medium tyres now, and also try and save the tyres. So this is the strategy: save tyres and push at the same time. So lap 3 we skip ahead to, you can see we're on the lap 3 now, and we're just trying to put in some solid lap time. So into the apex, missed the apex slightly there, actually messed up turn 1 quite a bit, so a few temps lost there on turn 1. Let's see if we can improve this lap and try and get ourselves a reasonably low 54. So into the braking zone, down to first gear, but being quite cautious. You're going to see up to second gear early. This is because we're trying to save the rear tyres. So on the accelerator, short shifting a little bit into gears just to save the wheel spin from wrecking them rear tyres. And that is something that's very important. Trying to stay in higher gears will really keep them rear tyres in check in an MR car. So again, second gear into this apex, getting it in very nicely there, and actually staying on the throttle in second gear and getting a very good exit. That has probably made up some of the loss from the first corner, where we've lost a tenth at least by going a little bit deep into it. And again, into this right-hander, very tricky corner. You've got to try and keep it very narrow, but get on the power super early and keep that power down for the exit. And we've actually made up a very nice sector there. You can see After losing a little bit in the first sector, we've really hooked that one up, and now we're pushing on to try and hit a solid lap here. So we're catching up to P4 quite quickly as well, I've noticed here. We're gaining very, very fast, so we're going to be probably behind P4 within a few laps as we work our way through these very nice corners. I do love the flow of Nürburgring. I think it's a track that a lot of people enjoy. The only downfall to this track is the chicane that PD just need to fix the penalty system on with regards to track limits. You're going to see how aggressively we attack it, and everyone does the same. You've got to really attack the curb, so over the curb, over the bollard, and yeah, I would rather, to be honest, I don't know why we haven't got the GT layout in the game. Surely PD can get that sorted. I'd love to have the GT layout for this game and get rid of that chicane altogether, or fix the chicane for track limits like they did at Suzuka, and then we've got a good situation. But we go over the line 54.0, which isn't actually that bad considering that was the third lap on the tyres, and also we messed up turn 1. So fast forwarding a little bit on this lap as we work our way through lap 4, and you can see we are catching up to P4. You can see that delta gaining a few tenths every now and then, and just gradually getting a little bit closer. And then as we come out of this corner, we see a massive moment for P4, big loss of grip. Looks like he got onto the grass but just about saved it, but then into this corner, it looks like he might have a little bit of dirty tyres, misses the brake point, and he goes off into the gravel. So that is a nice free position and an almost ideal thing for us to happen there, so we don't have to work with that dirty air, and now we can just push on. So skipping to lap 5, the end of lap 5, you can see the lap times. Lap 4 wasn't particularly amazing, and we're going to go over the line this time again on a pretty solid lap. So another very good lap considering the tyre wear. 54.0 with that tyre wear is pretty decent on lap 5. It's not bad at all. But you can see we're starting to catch up to P3 now, and this is where we're going to start getting that dirty air. So if we get within 1.5 seconds, that is where we're going to start losing pace. But so far, this strategy is working out quite nice. We've had quite a lot of clear air. Now, the strategy of starting on the hard tyres can give you a bit of dirty air if things go wrong. Now, I'm not too sure what happened to Mikhail's out at the start. They might have had clean air, they might have had dirty air. Very likely they got caught behind some cars, because both strategies have chances of picking up dirty air from other cars that are on different strategies. It's just a luck of the day thing when you do this race. Do you get lucky with starting on the mediums? Do you get lucky with starting on the hards? Sometimes hards are the way to do it, sometimes mediums are the way to do it, but I have to say mediums were the more enjoyable way of doing this race for me. Working your way through that lap 1, getting past people on the hard tyres was really fun. I enjoyed it. As we skip to lap 7 now, and you can see we're now picking up that slipstream, 1.4 seconds behind, and as soon as you're in that, you start feeling that loss of grip. And we've got another victim of that corner there. P3 trying to clean his tyres up, he's gone off, and we're just going to brake as late as we can and just get across into apex, and we've got ourselves into a podium position. So far so good. We don't know what position we are actually in because people are on different strategies in this race, but an eventful race, people making mistakes. We are getting a little bit lucky with getting rid of dirty air, but we are now in that slipstream to P2, and we're trying to save the rear tyres as well. And that is another thing, when you're in the slipstream to another car, it's very difficult to save the rear tyres with an MR car. And it's like opposite with FR cars, it really kills the front tyres. So it's a pain, and I really hope PD one day will fix this so that we can really have some fun racing. I don't mind a little bit of turbulent air, but in Group 3 I don't believe you should get the effects that happen on this game. I've spoke to real life GT3 drivers and they all say the same. It's just not like this. It shouldn't be this extreme. So hopefully PD will get that sorted. Into the final corner now to finish lap 7 and start the final 3 laps. You can see we're pretty close now. We're up to 1 second behind him. And again, by the end of lap 8, you can see we're still 6 tenths behind him. We've not found a way to get past him, but we are gaining. So we're getting closer, and we're just trying to keep an eye on them tyres. Now I go to pit here, we're slowing it down, and you can see my left tyre just goes over the pit lane entry. So I decided I have to bail that pit entrance. Had to make a quick call because it had to be an instant decision. You can't just try and make that pit lane if you're indecisive, because you'll end up like what happened at Autopolis. And yeah, we can see that our rear left tyre might not make this. It's going to be incredibly close. I needed to pit them really for overall pace in the race, but let's see what happens as we come to the end of lap 9. And you can see the rear left is nearly completely gone over the curve, being very cautious on the power. Now we've done an okay lap. It's not been amazing. This time we're not going over the white line, and we're not going to get a 3-second penalty, and that was a good decision, I think, because if we would have pitted them, it would have been a 3-second penalty and we would have lost about 6 seconds in the race. So made a smart choice by staying out, and now it's all about where do we come out with regards to other drivers. As we come out the pit lane, we have Mick Hours out dead level with us, one of the best drivers in the world in my view, and he is right next to us. He's just got ahead of us there, so he's battling with P2. you can see great racing. And as we come through here, you can see Mikhail does suffer from a bit of a potato internet issue. So as he comes through there, little bit of desync, and there was no contact, but his car just pings off to the side. So I think that's Mikhail Hazal's end, not P2's, because he does know that he has a bit of a dodgy connection every now and then. But now this has given us an opportunity to go for a move on Mikhail Hazal. We've got the harder tyre, he's got worn mediums. Can we go round the outside of one of the world's greatest players? Round the outside, and this is going to work. Can we hold it though? He's now got the outside, we've got the inside, and as we come through the corner, we've just about made it, but we're still side by side. Now we've got another car going on the inside of Mikhail Hazal. This is incredible racing, and this is why I love Gran Turismo. Races like this, we're now ahead of Mikhail Hazal in this race on Daily Race C. Equal cars, great racing, different strategies, and we are up to P3. What a race. What a battle on this final lap we've got here. We've got P4 just ahead of Mikhail Hazal. We both make a little mistake there, but get away with it. And now we're working into this really fast left-hand corner that goes onto the back straight. So can we hook this corner up? We're getting a little bit of dirty air from P2 still, but not much we can do about that. You can see massive loss of aero through there. And we're going to run a little bit wide into the gravel, but just about save it. And as we come through here, luckily, the car behind has a half a second penalty there, which gives Mikhail Hazal the opportunity to get back up to P4, and myself a nice bit of gap to Lightning there right behind us. Now we just got to make sure we get over the chicane without making a mistake. We have made mistakes with Mikhail behind us this week there, where he actually took us on the final corner basically. So yeah, this time we didn't make a mistake, and we're going to go over the line with a very solid P3 in a very competitive lobby. I hope you lot enjoyed that race, because I know I thoroughly enjoyed that one. Fighting against some of the best drivers in the world on this game. Brilliant stuff, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyable. Up to P3 from P10 in a lobby like this is a good result. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. Let me know in the comment section what you thought of it. How have you thought about this week's racing on Daily Race C? I thoroughly enjoyed it. Definitely one of the better weeks for Daily Race C. Let's hope we can have more races like this in the future. Thanks again for watching, everyone.